Hi there everyone, it's Tuesday evening and it's time for the Valley's most in-depth weather forecast. We call it Weather for Weather Geeks. The big story, of course, is the cold. We've been talking about it for days and we're just about ready to dive into the coldest stretch of weather we've had in quite some time. I started last evening's video with this same map showing how dramatically warmer it was last evening compared to Sunday evening. And now we've flipped the switch and we're much colder again. Temperatures have been nearly steady in the upper teens for a lot of the day, but they've begun to slide this evening, and that slide will really become pronounced later on tonight and heading into your Wednesday morning. We're just getting started with this. Before we get too deep into the cold, finally, with the silly shutdown over, for the time being anyway, we have some ice cover data on the Great Lakes, including, of course, our nearest Great Lake, Lake Erie. The ice has increased pretty rapidly over the last 10 days or so, up over 70% now, close to 75%. And we may see the Lake Erie ice cover get pretty close to 100% by Friday into Saturday before that thaw starts to kick in early next week. So there's a chance Lake Erie might go completely ice covered for a relatively brief time. I wouldn't expect it to last very long given the warmth that's coming next week. We've had some flurries and the occasional little burst of heavier snow in some spots. These snow showers in any one location don't last very long, but enough to make for a few isolated slick spots. It's really impressive to look at the real estate coverage here when we talk about the winter weather advisories and I should say the wind chill advisories and the wind chill warnings. If you draw a line from east central PA up to Montana, you know, that's about 1,500 miles as the crow flies. That's a lot of territory covered by this Arctic air mass that really, really does mean some business. I posted earlier today, you know, when we get cold weather like this, especially extreme cold, you still hear a lot of people saying, oh, it's Ohio, it's Pennsylvania, what do you expect? It's January. But this isn't your routine midwinter cold. This is the kind of cold that we don't see very often. And while it won't be as extreme here as in some places, there will be some places, especially in northwest Ohio and out towards Chicago. This is a generational cold air mass. People in, say, Chicago, for example, who are younger than 25 years old have never experienced this kind of cold and wind and the combination creating wind chills like we're seeing. So this is not to be poo-pooed. This is some serious stuff, and you know, we've had plenty of time to prepare you for this. That's the nice thing about an Arctic outbreak. It doesn't come on us suddenly. We've got plenty of time to talk about it. As of 7:15, the wind chill was -4 at the Youngstown Warren Airport. Look at these numbers up across the upper Midwest and southern Canada. I mean, Fargo's been around this zone for the last several hours. Winnipeg as well. International Falls, 44, 45 below for wind chills up there. The air is very cold. It's also very, very dry. You know, the air outside your home and inside your home, the moisture content is really no different unless you're running a humidifier. When you take that outside Arctic frigid air and heat it, like we do inside, it creates some really, really low relative humidity values. If your thermostat is set at 70, for example, if our dew point is 5 below, your indoor relative humidity is a whopping 5%. So yeah, I've been zapping everything I touch in here. You know, dry skin, dry nasal passages. If you've got some indoor plants, they can be pretty thirsty. This is all pretty typical stuff when we get this kind of cold and dry air mass pushing in during the winter time. All right, so as you wake up on Wednesday morning, here's what to expect. Air temperatures will probably drop below zero, maybe not by daybreak, but by 8 or 9 a.m. at the latest. And the wind chills will be in the teens to about 20 below zero. As a lot of people get up and around. Now, a lot of people are going to have tomorrow off. You know, YSU has no classes. Just about every school district is canceled for tomorrow. But some people, of course, have no choice. They got to go to work. And wouldn't expect any problems on the roads, but we're going to be dealing with this kind of cold and wind chill. So as a lot of people head off to work in the morning, 15 to 20 below for the wind chills, it's going to get worse before it gets better. I mean, the afternoon will be colder as far as the wind chills go, and the air temperatures as well, than the morning will be. I would expect our air temperatures to bottom out maybe around 10, 11 a.m. at -4, -5 tomorrow, and then kind of hold there for a few hours, maybe rise back up to about 2 below. But yeah, somewhere between 2 below and 5 below for air temperatures during the daylight hours on Wednesday. And wind chills might bottom out right around 30 below or so before the day is through. Now, our air temperatures will stay below zero all the way through mid-morning on Thursday. I've still got a low of 10 below in the forecast for an air temperature Wednesday night into Thursday morning. That would beat the record low on Thursday's date, the last day of January, by 1 degree. The wind chills and the temperatures will recover by Thursday afternoon. It'll be much less harsh outside Thursday afternoon. The sun will be shining, there'll be less wind, and air temperatures will be above zero. You know, I have a high of 8 Thursday, but that 8's going to feel pretty nice, actually, compared to how hideous it's going to be outside Wednesday afternoon. All right, some flurries around maybe into tomorrow morning. Again, not expecting any sort of snow impacts in most spots tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, we can see some ineffective sunshine and a clear sky tomorrow night. The only thing a couple of things keeping the temperature from going even lower tomorrow night. A, the breeze is still going to be active. It's not going to go dead calm tomorrow night. Also, our snowpack is pretty stale at this point, and we're not going to add really much to it at all. If we just had a fresh snow, if we just got 5 inches of fresh snow, say today or yesterday, and the wind were to go calm tomorrow night, you know, we could be well down into the teens below zero. But we're not going to get that cold. The snowpack is stale, and there'll be enough of a breeze. Sunshine for Thursday, and then this little clipper on Friday. Now, our in-house model, I think, is suppressing things a little too far to the south here. I do think we'll get into some of the snow very, very late Thursday night and into Friday morning. And, you know, this is a pretty healthy-looking little clipper. I wouldn't be surprised if a place like Columbus or anywhere along the I-70 corridor, if places got 3-4 inches out of this. I think for us, we're on the northern fringes, so I don't think we're in the heart of this, but I can see where we get a couple of inches based on largely 10-to-1 ratios. Our models are in pretty good agreement here, spitting out about an inch. You can almost double this, I think, in some spots. The ratios are going to be high. I mean, 18 to 20 to 1 with this. So we could see a couple of inches, I think, worth of fluffy snow very late Thursday night into the first half of Friday. That's what I have. Most likely accumulation of an inch or two, but this stuff is going to be so fluffy, especially in Columbiana County, farther south you are. I wouldn't be surprised if some places try to get 3+ inches out of that little fast-moving clipper very early in the day on Friday. What a pattern flip that's coming, though. We're way below average, of course, on the order of something like 35 degrees below average tomorrow. By Friday, we make it up to 20 degrees. That's only 13 below average. But then over the weekend, here we go with the thaw. And it continues for the first half of next week. Longer range is a tricky forecast once we get beyond this thaw. The cold's going to come back at some point. We've got a lot of winter left. It's just a matter of when does it come back, and that's a tough forecast at this point. I think we're going to see problems early next week on area rivers with ice jam flooding as some of the ice thaws and then starts to move around. That can cause some flooding issues around the rivers. Boy, you talk about pothole city next week with this kind of a hard Arctic outbreak, hard freeze coming over the next few days, followed by that kind of a thaw. And, you know, our pothole situation around most of our area is never great in the winter, but I think next week it's going to get pretty rough on area roadways. That's it for tonight's weather for Weather Geeks. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you back here on a Wednesday evening.